What's up, guys? My name is Jax and I am going to show you how I make my infused chili oil. So this jar I made was just a regular chili oil. I didn't do an infusion with this one, but this time I'm showing you how I do it with an infusion. So I have my oil here. I measure the oil in the jar that I will be keeping it in. This is just an empty pickle jar. So I measured the oil in here first and poured it into the pan and heated it up on medium heat. To that I added garlic. And you really want to only add as much as you actually want for flavor. You don't have to really follow a recipe for this. So I added the garlic and 2 leeks to add some oniony flavor to it. To that I do a half a cup of chili flakes. These are just the standard chili flakes that you get at like any pizza parlor. The amount of chili flakes you want will depend on how spicy you want your oil. So I use half a cup, and that usually gets me a pretty good spice range. Then on top of that, I add, and the oil that I'm using, by the way, is just vegetable oil. You can use any oil you want, peanut, sunflower, olive oil, like literally any kind of oil you want you can use. I add sesame oil after the oil has cooled. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to lose the sesame flavor. You lose that when you heat the oil. So if you want to add a sesame taste to your chili oil, you want to make sure to add this after. And this is also, you just depends on how much you want to put in it. So this is a very small jar, so usually I'll do probably about a tablespoon of this into the oil once I've poured it into the jar and once it's cooled. Now once you pour the oil into the jar, try not to touch it. It is very, very, very hot. So I'm going to show you how I strain this out, and then I'm just basically going to scoop out all of the leeks. So I have a bowl here just with some paper towel just for the leeks. So usually you can wait until these are browned, but they are very fragrant, so you can just basically smell the oil, and when it's at a good infusion. So scoop all of this out. I put a lot of leeks in here because I wanted to get a very rich flavor. So I used pickled garlic, or like the jarred pre-cut garlic. That I'm not going to worry about scooping out, because even if it just sits there in the jar, it gives it some really good flavor and just infuses even longer. But the leeks, you want to get as much out. I am going to leave a little bit of leek in here, so these little bits that I can't really get out, I am going to leave in here just to get some extra flavor going, or keep some extra flavor in the jar. So I'm setting that bowl aside, and to that I'm going to add the chili flakes. So now, sometimes it really does bubble up, and it might when I start stirring it a little bit. So at this point, once you've added the chili flakes here, you can actually just turn your heat off, because this is just going to sit here and cool. And once that is cooled, you will pour that into the jar, and then once the jar is cooled completely, then you will add the sesame oil, and I will show you how to do that in just a minute. So now that our chili oil has finally cooled, I'm going to take the sesame oil here, and this is just the brand I use. I also have a different brand of sesame oil. You don't have to specifically use one. Like this is another one. It's a Japanese toasted sesame oil. So you don't have to specifically use the Leeks sesame oil. So I'll pop this. We're going to measure out about a tablespoon, a little over just because I really like sesame oil. And then we are going to stir that in, and that's just going to give it some really good sesame flavor. And then once that is done, we can take our jar and we'll just pour this in. And then you'll just, a lot of the stuff will stay in the bottom, so you'll just scrape that into the jar. Sorry, it's a little bit messy. I'm doing this with the camera, so it's a little bit harder to get this to not fall all over the place. Usually a lot cleaner about it. So, and that is it. And then, there you go. You basically have a jar of fresh, hot, infused chili oil. So, if you guys like this, just let me know and give me a thumbs up, and I can show you some of my other little tricks that I use to making restaurant-style sauces and everything like that. Hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, just let me know. I will also leave my recipe down below. Otherwise, that is all I have for you, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye! You've already got someone, cop. You've already got someone. But you have someone! Oh my god, he's gonna... Really? Okay. I didn't realize that he could carry more than one person. Apparently he can. Oh my god. I cannot even right now. Alright, I don't know. I don't know if this is worse than the Miami party or not.